On Wednesday, Apple CEO Tim Cook said the company will now pay $38 billion in taxes on money that has been parked overseas. The company has pledged to create 20,000 new jobs and invest over $30 billion in American facilities over the next 5 years.
Let me be clear, there are large parts of this that are a result of the tax reform, and there's large parts of this that we would have done in any situation.
Apple will also give employees a $2,500 stock bonus in reaction to the Trump administration's new tax rules. For more on this and the impact of the new tax legislation and the economy, let's go to Bart Chilton, host of Boom Bust.
Boom Bust.
Is this a boom or a bust? I mean, I don't want to sound I don't want to sound like a cheerleader here, but these are pretty solid numbers. Where's the downside?
Well, I mean, the downside is really on the side of the deficit. I mean, it's a boom for Apple because while $38 billion is real bucks, it could have been $88 billion had the tax bill not passed. So the tax bill, the corporate tax rate, as we know, is 35%. That's down to 21%. But when you bring back your money, when you repatriate, you only have to pay 15.5%. So they're getting a $50 billion windfall that they wouldn't have otherwise got. Now, I'm glad they're bringing it back, and I'm glad about their jobs, but it's not just all, they're not philanthropists. It's a business.
Now, let's move on. If these 20,000 jobs are truly created, and that is going to help expand the tax base. Yep. Would that money be made up that way? I mean, that's really the theory of what the Republicans are trying to do. They're saying if you repatriate your money, it's going to be more in your pocket, more in the Treasury's pocket when we're going to expand the tax base. You buy that?
I hope they're right, but, you know, I mean, my background. I'm a government regulator. I'm concerned and cautious and suspecting. Inquiring minds want to know on this stuff. And Apple had already said, Ed, they were going to spend $16 billion a year. So to say they're going to spend 30 over 5 and create these 20,000 jobs, even Tim Cook said, your clip played, you know, some of this they were going to do already. So I don't have anything negative to say about it, but we've seen recently where Walmart said we're boosting our profits and then under their breath and we're closing 60 Sam's stores. We've seen where President Trump said we're going to keep all these carrier jobs in Indiana. Hundreds of carrier jobs are going to Mexico in May. So I'm just want to be cautious before we give the benefit of the doubt to companies who say they're doing nothing but good and valorous things.
So this is no heavy lift on the part of Apple?
No, but it is money. But, you know, are they going to do, for example, like Google has? You know, they've got that great Googleplex in Mountain View, California. They've got 15,000 jobs, lots of suppliers and everything. Are they going to do that? Are they really going to start making the iPhones in the U.S.? Or are they still going to outsource those to China? Those are sort of the critical questions.
All right. The president today went on the road while Washington is in the swamp, trying to figure out what to do with government money and to keep the government running. He talks about a stock market that it's growth of over 40% since he's taken office.
Absolutely.
When's this going to end? Is it going to end? Will there be a bubble? I mean, I
think it's a bubble already, quite frankly. Look, there's a lot of things that go into the high stock market.
And I don't mean to be negative about saying, well, when is this going to end? Well, I mean, come on. There are peaks and valleys in the market. What's happening?
I mean, it could go on for 6 months. I've said for the last 6 months or more, I think it's about topping out. So maybe don't listen to me. Except for the fact that, look, we know why markets have took off. One, lower interest rates. They've been there for a long time. Those are about to change. Jay Powell, the new Federal Reserve Chair, is going to have a meeting on the 30th and 31st of this month. Interest rates are going to start to rise. Banks have been making loans to people because of these low interest rates, and jobs have been created. That's on the positive side. Plus, the president and then candidate, of course, talked about this tax bill. That has happened, so that's going to spur economic growth. So there's still some running room, but the question is, what there is there? After they've spent this money, after they've felt good about the euphoria, are they going to have things that continue to propel the economy and the stock market, like the transportation and infrastructure bill that he's talked about, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. So we'll have to wait and see if it continues, but my guess is it's not something that's going to be here in 2 years.
Do you think there will be more companies like Apple doing what they announced today? I mean, is this going to create enough enthusiasm and maybe some leadership in the business community that there will be other companies that do what Apple is doing?
I think you're right that it will happen, but I mean, look, they didn't do this because they were good citizens. They did it because they're a business, and
Yeah.
it's in the best interest of their bottom line, Ed.
He sees green.
He does.
That's what his son says.
Follow the money.
All right. Bart Chilton always. Thanks.
Thank you.